a rare Saturday matinee game for the Ottawa Senators facing the Edmonton Oilers today here at Canadian Tire Center. As we have a look at our starting goaltenders, two of the biggest goalies in the league, 6'6", Devan Dubnyk.
They want to build up his confidence, and they know they may not have a lot of other choices going into the season. This is a tough record to start, but Dubnyk in goal and hoping to change things around. At the other end of the rink, well, you don't want to change things around just because you've changed goaltenders. The Ottawa Senators on a 2-game win streak. Now's a good opportunity to give Robert Leonard his second start of the season.
Said to get a go, and these two teams last year met 2 times. Ottawa won the first game 5-2 in Edmonton, and then lost 4-3 in overtime here in Ottawa, and that was a season and a half ago. Back to the point. There's a shot through traffic, knocked down, squeaked between the legs of Dubnyk. Back in the corner. Petrie trying to get it out as he tries to angle off McCulloch, gets the puck to center and sends it all the way down ice. Carlson gets to the imaginary line. That brings the whistle. Let's have a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee.
Edmonton's been having trouble killing penalties, so I feel for Ottawa's special team. Your power play, even your penalty killing might get some chances. For the Oilers, well, the top 2 lines have been shuffled around. Those lines must gel. No, not like the gel used by Sean McKenzie. The lines must gel together cohesively.
He got a handful in today. Grab turns to chase it back. Gets back and gets himself away from Gazdic. Turris to the line. MacArthur tries to send the puck in. It's knocked down. Phillips now. Along the boards. Puck slides in behind the net. Andrew Ferentz there to get it. His pass off the back of the skate of David Perron again. The Oilers having trouble getting through center. Long lead pass. All the way down to the Ottawa end. In the corner. Here's Phillips. Turns to get away from Taylor Hall. Feeds it ahead. Senators break it out. Cross ice, everybody heading off on a change, and the turnover creates a chance for the Oilers. Adam Hall couldn't catch up to it. Mafat clears it around the boards. Puck is held in on the other side by Justin Schultz. Along the boards, Greening comes across to try and dig it out of the skates of Hall. Cabello couldn't do anything with it. Senators back out with it. To the line and in. Zach Smith fires it in, hits Dubnyk in the face. Puck is right there for Neal. His shot doesn't get through. Back along the boards now. Eberle clears it to the corner. RNH tries to clear it out. Can't get it past. At the point, puck is knocked down low and wide. Here's Neal in behind the net. Neal sends it back to Mafat, who came down the wall. Side of the net. Neal trying to pick it back up again. And again, Mafat. This time trying to work himself away from Alashemsky out to center. Here's a 2-on-1. Yakupov, Eberle cuts in, scores, beats Leonard short side. The goal light never came on, but the arms go up, and it's a 1-0 Edmonton lead.
Oh my, we talked about the skill of this team in the open, and this is a real error by the Ottawa Senators to allow the skill to be displayed. Martin Mafat unable to keep the puck in his battle, but then again, there's not really any backup. Jason Spezza is supposed to stay back as the second defenseman. The 2-on-1, well, you don't need the 2. The one of Eberle, given the opportunity, makes a dramatically good move to get the puck past to Robin Leonard.
And it looked like he had run out of space, but he had enough, and he made the best of it. As Eberle gets his 3rd of the year and gets the Oilers on the board. Shot through traffic, low and wide. Cowan there to hold it in. Back of the net. Condra trying to pick up the puck with Boyd Gordon on him. Oilers now cross ice out to center. Carlson loses the puck. Knocked down. Grebishkov there to hold it in. Grebishkov spent last year in the KHL. Keeps it in along the boards. There's a shot deflected on the way to the net. And Leonard knocks it down and gets a whistle.
Well, this is an interesting situation for Dallas Eakins, a new coach for the Edmonton Oilers. But listen to this. I mean, when his team scores first, they have not won a game yet. Now, if you look at the statistics overall, when a team scores first, they win about 60 to 70% of the games. Yet the Edmonton Oilers have scored first and have not been able to put a win together. So one is to wait and see whether getting the first goal of this hockey game is going to make a difference in the outcome.
Face off to the left of Leonard. Kyle Turris will take the draw against former St. Louis Blue David Perron. Turris wins the draw to the line and in. Bobby Ryan couldn't get through the crowd. Back the other way. Here's Taylor Hall. Hall to the line. As it knocked off his stick by Greiba. Gets it back again. Runs it to the corner but hits the referee. Hall digs it away from Greiba. Greiba trying to catch up and stay on him. Wheels it off the boards. Back in front again. Penalty call is on the way against the Senators. As Turris touches it up on his way through the slot as he tried to find a path through. Arcobello was hooked. And that means a power play for the Edmonton Oilers and a 2-minute penalty for Clark MacArthur.
Well, you know, you would sit back and say two very good positive things for the Oilers. Here's the penalty, and Clark MacArthur is going to the box. So the Oilers have a power play, and they scored first. Well, both have been negative so far. They've allowed 3 shorthanded goals this season. That is the most allowed in the NHL. So when we talk about keys for Ottawa, we mentioned special teams. You often think of the power play. Well, maybe this is an opportunity for Ottawa to get a chance at their first shorthanded goal of the season.
Back to the line and in. Justin Schultz sends it across ice. Eberle inside the zone. Eberle runs it along the boards. Hall sends it back the other way. Hops over top of the stick of Nugent Hopkins. And all the way back down ice. Schultz back to pick it up in his own zone. Schultz back to center, leaves the puck there. Nugent Hopkins bobbles the puck at the line, gives it to Hall. Taylor Hall leaves it along the boards, stolen away by Spezza. Clears the puck ahead, out to center. Short-handed, McCulloch couldn't go anywhere with it. Now he picks it up. Here's Spezza. Winds, doesn't fire. Spezza wheels it back in front. Greiba with a shot, and that's just deflected away by Dubnyk, who just barely got back to the net.
You gotta say he got lucky on that play. What a heads-up play by Greiba to shoot right away.
Here's Turris, sends it back to his own end to blow off some time, and now Greiba's got to hurry with Perron on him. Mafat through the middle, finds Turris. Turris floats the puck gently all the way down ice. Dubnyk out to play it, Zach Smith. He's right in there trying to get on Belov. Here's Belov now, back out to center. Gives the puck away, and Turris clears it back down ice. Again, Dubnyk out of the net, clears it away from Zach Smith. Ryan Smith sends the puck ahead. Down to the line and in. Hemsky gets it across. Nail Yakupov gets tied up by Zach Smith, but they can't get the puck out. Belov folds it in. Here's Hemsky. Hemsky low to the corner. Return it back the other side. Quick shot deflected. Goes off Mafat's skate and nearly went off his skate into his own net. Stolen away at center. Zach Smith tries to drop it to the line. MacArthur out of the box now. Gets held up at the line as he gets on Yakupov, and the puck is flipped back down inside the Edmonton end. Here's Grant in to get it. Puts the shoulder into Schmid. As Derek Grant hits the ice. Playing in his 6th NHL game. Lead pass out to center. Here's Matt Cassian. Down to the line. Puck is knocked down, and the play is whistled down as it came off a high stick.
Tickets for the first half of the season are on sale now, including Anaheim's only visit to the Canadian Tire Center on Friday. For more information, visit capitaltickets.ca.
Well, Jean-Gabriel Pageau went back, and Derek Grant is in. Now, he's a little bigger, plays a little bit more of a physical game, but not outwardly. But this is where he's supposed to be very good. I mean, and face-off percentages, very strong. Wins a strong one right there, something that Pageau just wasn't able to get a handle of while he was here. So a bit of a change as the bigger Derek Grant comes into the lineup.
Pageau, during the games he did play, was averaging 32.3% in the face-off circle, which is just not going to get it done. And Grant now has his opportunity. Round the boards, Ferrin sends it. Ahead and Acton to center. Puck bounces down to the Ottawa end. As that grind fourth line for the Oilers gets off the ice. Here's Spezza into the zone. Knocked off his stick. To the corner it goes. Spezza feeds it back to the point. Carlson loads up for a wrist shot. His shot just goes wide. Bounces back to the side of the net. Dubnyk goes the wrong way, but again doesn't have to pay for it.
Hallelujah.
He has not paid for it, but Evan Dubnyk has had his struggles here in period one. Getting caught out of the net, turning the wrong way. That time went to one side of the net while the puck was going to the other. Spezza tries to wheel it back to the point. Partially deflected. Carlson leaves it along the boards to get away from Taylor Hall. You got it back from Connaughton.
You can see, Dean, from the things that you've expressed, goaltending is not all about reacting, meaning stopping a shot that's coming at you. There's got to be a little bit of anticipation that comes to your game, and it doesn't appear as though Dubnyk, although he had a very good game against the Islanders, by all accounts, he was very good, and they're hoping to build on that. When you see a goaltender supposed to be following the puck, now he's assuming the puck's going to go all the way around the net rather than keeping the eye on the puck.
Everly, there's a shot through traffic, knocked down by Leonard, and the rebound cleared off the boards and out by Zach Smith. There's Nail Yakupov now. Drops it back, Oilers to the neutral zone, shoveled down to the Ottawa line and in. Carlson snaps it back to center. Ahead for Neal. Neal inside the zone. Neal rubs Eberle out. Puck along the boards. Yakupov can't get it out. Here's Greiba, sends a shot through, deflected on the way there, and Dubnyk covers up and holds on as Chris Neal goes in to introduce himself. He's now getting used to Anton Belov's strength and conditioning. One goal lead for the Oilers here in period one. Spezza and Gordon in the face-off circle. One of the reasons Boyd Gordon was brought in to help in the face-off circle for this Edmonton team, which was last in face-offs last year. Here's Spezza trying to wheel it back in front. Conacher trying to get a stick on it, couldn't do it. Ryan Smith now along the boards. I'm going to say Boyd Gordon, since he got there, has been 62% and second best in the league in face-offs, so he has certainly helped the Oilers in the area where they wanted help. On the board, sent back by Petrie to the Ottawa line. Spezza in his own end, wheels it away. Puck trickles down inside the Edmonton end. Ottawa will change, as will the Oilers, as Ryan Smith leaves it back to the net.
Don't know if it matters, but he's celebrating a birthday today as Boyd Gordon. But what does matter is that when we were in Phoenix, just to add on to your comment, Dave Tippett, the coach, couldn't talk enough about the loss of Boyd Gordon, who signed with the Edmonton Oilers in the offseason.
Down to the line, Turris. He's lost his helmet already. To the line, tries to tip it through. Quick shot, save is made by Dubnyk. Coming in last on the play with the best chance of the period was Bobby Ryan, but a big man save. You can't teach 6'6", and it caught Dubnyk in the left shoulder.
Well, he's done a couple of things that have been questionable, but Dubnyk has done well on that. The best opportunity by the Ottawa Senators.
Here's Mathot now through the middle. Inside the line, Neal comes in, gets a shot away right on, and Dubnyk eats that up. There's now more pushing and shoving as Ference and Neal resume their acquaintance. Of course, they got to know each other very well when Ference played in Boston, and they didn't like each other then.
Now, Bobby Ryan, right side of your screen, coming in late. The puck is just served up for him. What an opportunity. But this time, Dubnyk really stood out strong and tall, as Pete said. He's a big man, covers a lot of net, needed it there. It just seemed like Bobby Ryan was going for that top glove corner again, where he scored, 3 of his 4 goals.
I was wrong. It hit Dubnyk in the right shoulder, not the left. Taylor Hall blows a tire. Out to center, Chris Neal taps it through the middle. Inside the line, Greening gets it across. And that shot gloved down by Dubnyk as again Neal goes to the net.
This period brought to you by Toyota. The 2013s must go to make room for the 2014s. On now at your Toyota dealer.
Well, this is a very important line in my view for the Ottawa Senators. Zach Smith line with Greening on left and Neal on right. You can see how they can disturb things, get things going. And Zach has been scoring. Got 2 goals now. Game winner against New Jersey. Confidence never hurts.
Wierkosh sends it in front. It hits the leg of Kassian and out to center now. To the line, Hemsky cuts in. Puck trickles to the side of the net. Ryan Smith back of the net. Gets the cycle. Condor trying to get it out from his skates. Back along the boards. They move it to the point. No shot for Belov, so he just sends it back to the net again. Here's Hemsky, turns it back. Mathot intercepts. Shovels the puck ahead, just out of the reach of Matt Kassian.
Now Zach Kassian is in the lineup and hoping to, well, he'd love to score a lot of goals, but he is in the lineup to make sure that the smaller players on his team are well protected.
Well, that fourth line for Edmonton this afternoon, which is Gazdic, Brown, and Acton, certainly has some potential trouble seated in that line.
We're sort of anticipating Gazdic and Kassian getting into it at some point. They've already done that several times. American League and in the pros, or in the NHL, I should say.
Back in front, Yakupov with a shot. Loose puck, scores! Ales Hemsky, rather Nugent Hopkins was right there for the rebound as Leonard had no clue where it came off, and the rebound came off fast and hard, and Nugent Hopkins buried the rebound.
Strong start for a team that hasn't won a game yet, the Edmonton Oilers, but wait till you see. What happens really is that Leonard kind of puts himself in a tough position. The puck is shot right at his glove right here, seems to handle it well, but unbeknownst to him, it pops off. My guess is it probably hit, down on the glove hand nearer the wrist, and it popped off and gave a rebound that he did not anticipate, and Ryan Nugent Hopkins found the puck on his stick with an open net.
So the Sounders, despite outshooting the Oilers 9-5, are trailing 2-0. Maybe they might want to go back with allowing the other team to blister them with shots. It seems to give them more success as the puck hops off a stick and up into the Oiler bench. A 2-0 lead for Edmonton here at Canadian Tire Center.
Devan Dubnyk has a 4.92 goals against average, .854 save percentage. He's had trouble, and this is why. Puck squeezes through the pads here. The Ottawa Senators early in the going find big rebounds, unable to put it away. Chris Neal, good shot by Carlson. Dubnyk loses his net, but gets away with it again. And here finally a terrific save on a big shot. The point of all this is time may be running out on the Sounders. Devan Dubnyk may be getting more and more confident as the game goes on. Yes, he's been a little lucky so far. But coming off the save on Bobby Ryan, confidence building, that always makes it tougher to beat a goaltender. So for all the good reasons, the Senators would do well to be the next team on the scoreboard.
Perron and MacArthur battling for space before the puck is dropped, and it's whistled down just as it's dropped. Yeah, the Sounders trail 2-0, but as we just saw there with those Dubnyk highlights, if you want to call them that, the Sounders have certainly had their chances. They could easily be the one up 2-0. They find themselves on the wrong side of that count. Back in front again, Dubnyk holds his ground as MacArthur came in. On the boards. Finally picked up. Ryan out to center. Here's Carlson. Carlson to the line, leaves it, heads to the net. MacArthur sends a shot in. It actually hit somebody on the way to the net.
Now it might have hit Carlson, the defenseman who tried to create a screen. May not want to do that again if that ends up being a stinger.
Had that dead thud you hear when it goes into the back of the calf.
Yeah.
Along the boards. Conacher comes in, tried to jar it away from Eberle. And RNH back up ice. Nugent Hopkins already a 2-point afternoon for him with a goal and an assist. Offside the call.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
Well, you take a look at the Oilers bench, new system, new coach. Things have not been great for new coaches so far this year. Figure Aikens is looking still for his first win. Ralston in Buffalo, Berube in Philadelphia. Coaching changes, and the new coaches are trying to dial it in. It's getting tough.
In Edmonton, they've had far more coaching changes than they would have liked, obviously. 3 new coaches in 3 years and 5 in the last 6 years. And now Conacher will go off and another Oiler power play. Edmonton 0 for 1 on the power play. Didn't get a shot on goal in their first one.
Now there's a bit of a scramble in the corner for the puck. And you see the reaction by Conacher. He's wondering what's going on here. And actually there is no tripping there by Conacher. He actually pulled his stick to the right, pushed Taylor Hall down. And that's why Conacher is arguing the fact that, hey, it wasn't my stick. He just went down. You saw a little bit of the contact, referee and player, so things got mixed up. The actual referee who made the call was standing outside the Senators' blue line.
Here's Eberle, drops it back. Down low to the corner it goes. Off the wall, quick shot. Leonard takes it off the shoulder, bounces off him up into the mesh. And they face off on the way again inside the Ottawa end.
You know, you've got to follow the trend. It's interesting that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on his forehand tries to go short side top shelf. Isn't that where Eberle scored when he got his 2-on-1 near breakaway? Well, watch as Hopkins comes in, Nugent-Hopkins, and looking for that same short side top shelf. Leonard never moved.
Last season and the shortened season for the Oilers, actually their special teams were very strong, top 10 in both. 7th on the power play, 9th on the penalty kill, and 5-on-5 the last half of the abbreviated season was terrible for them. So far in the early going here, they're 5-on-5. They've been pretty good, and their special teams have been not as good as they'd like. Their penalty kill, worst in the league right now. And their power play, down around 20th, 19th, 20th spot. Hall drops it back. Schultz sends it across. There's a shot that goes off a leg, up into the mesh as Perron tried to force it through a slot.
The MLB playoffs continue with the ALCS Game 6. It's Detroit taking on Boston tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch it on Sportsnet East, Ontario West, and Sportsnet Pacific.
All right, thank you, Sean. Still minute 8 to go in the power play for the Oilers. Off the draw, a face-off win for Zach Smith, and the puck is cleared back down ice by Jared Cowan. Dubnyk tees it up back to the net. Anton Belov picks it up. Belov played in the KHL last year. Oilers can't get in cleanly. They have to come back out now and regroup. A turnover. Nemski has it knocked away from him by Eric Gryba. Now Yakupov. There's Nail Yakupov to the line. Goes to the wing. Ryan Smith trying to go cross ice. It's partially blocked. Second passing attempt goes off of Jason Spezza and out of play. That means the faceoff will stay in the Ottawa zone. Now 31 seconds, as you can see, remaining in the penalty to Conacher.
Well, much talked about draft pick Nail Yakupov. Had a pretty good season last year with 17 goals. Matter of fact, a great season in only 48 games. But tonight's assist on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' goal is his first point of the season. Dallas Eakins has moved him from right wing to left wing, hoping to give him a different look and have him react.
First overall in 12. Nugent-Hopkins was first overall in 11. Taylor Hall was first overall in 10.
They haven't had a problem with first draft picks. They just need experience.
Draw pass, Eberle cutting in, gives it back. Nugent-Hopkins sends it back in front. Eberle is smoked, though. Here's a shot by Hall, knocked down and held on to, as Perron now getting into it with Mathot. And so Gryba just grabs his face.
Again, you see a very skilled young team, and on the power play, given an opportunity to move the puck really well. They look at guys coming late. This shot right here is coming in from a dangerous area. Robert Leonard able to pick it through the crowd and follow it in. You know, Perron, number 57, the reason why he'll upset the Ottawa defenseman is that he's pretty big, he has good size, and he'll get to the front of the net and cause havoc.
Puck tangled up in the skates off the draw. Back to even strength hockey now as Bobby Ryan cuts in around Grebishkov, sends it back in front, and the shot by MacArthur didn't get through. Jared Cowan back to get it. Carlson gets it ahead. Here's Turris. Sends a shot in. It's deflected away by Dubnyk. MacArthur chops it back to the corner. Turris knocks the puck down. Bobby Ryan comes in. Ryan turns along the boards. Slides it back. Ottawa with all three forwards in the corner trying to cycle it out. They do get it back out. Here's Carlson. Nearly bobbled it at the line. Couldn't get the shot through as Ryan Smith blocked it. Carlson gets it back to the line. Couldn't get inside the zone before being run off the puck as he was taken off the puck by Mike Brown. To the line and in. Weirkosh ahead to Neal. Neal has to wait for it. Puts the puck back to the net. Zach Smith trying to scrape the puck free along the boards. Back on the other side. Quick shot hits the side of the net. Penalty call is on the way against the Oilers after that pile up in the corner. Back to the point. Weirkosh swings it across, but it comes outside the line. Everybody has to get out.
Effective shift by that line led by Zach Smith. Very important line in my view for Baldwin Plains Senators.
Jason Spezza wanted the puck over by the face-off circle just going into the Edmonton zone. Weirkosh gave it to him in the middle of the ice and nearly put him on the train tracks. Ottawa to the power play when we come back.
Community Hockey brought to you by Scotiabank. You're richer than you think. As proud supporters of kids' community hockey teams across Canada, Scotiabank wants to hear how your team is impacting or giving back to your community. Tag your stories and photos using hashtag ScotiaHockey for a chance to be recognized on an upcoming Senators broadcast.
All right, thank you, Sean. Ottawa on the power play. For the first time in this game, off the draw, a face-off win by Boyd Gordon, who then ices the puck. So Ladislav Schmid off in the box. To the line, Spezza as it just slide off his stick, runs it around the boards. Back to the side of the net. Dubnyk comes out to cover it up, but can't get a stick on it or a glove. Here's McCulloch now. Back to the corner. Conacher runs it along the boards for Spezza. Spezza wheels it back. Carlson trying to find a gap. Gives it to Spezza. He just blows it through everybody. Conacher gets a shot, but it's tipped away. Gordon gets there, clears it, but was, as you could hear, unhappy with the results. To the line, here's Spezza. And in the corner, Ference angles off Conacher, tips the puck. Now trying to get some help on the play from Petrie. Gets it to the line, but not out. Here's Carlson. High side, Spezza tries to wheel it back. Weirkosh with a shot. Dubnyk makes the save, although unaware of it. And then Ference punches Conacher in the side of the head.
Now good puck movement by the Ottawa Senators here on their power play, their first one of the game. We'll see what that last play brought up. Dubnyk, again, the big body saving in here because I'm not sure if it got deflected or not, but he, of course, was a little surprised to see the puck in his midsection.
Minute gone, minute to go in this power play. Turris kicked out of the circle. MacArthur will take the draw and wins it. Here's Weirkosh. Cross to Carlson. Carlson. Turning shot. Bobby Ryan got it right into the pads of Dubnyk. And the Oilers clear the puck. Weirkosh. Ahead to center. Trying to hit Bobby Ryan. Ryan falls down and the puck hits him in the back. Well, he's trying to get up and maybe get the wind back. You know, he's
a little hurt.
He's been shaken up after taking that puck in the back.
They've got a leg issue. I don't know if it's the puck. I hope that's all it is for the Senators. Bobby Ryan limping off, favoring the right leg.
On the boards, Gordon rubbed out by MacArthur. Turris tries to come out of the corner with it, but falls down, gets back up to fight to get it back again, and does. MacArthur slammed into the boards. Here's Turris. Plays it back to the point. Weirkosh got the call from his teammates. That's how he knew the man coming out of the box was on him right away. Here's Schmid now. Shovels it back out to center. Gets by Weirkosh all the way down ice. Underside of the net, leaves it there for Wierkosh, but he gets tangled up with Nugent Hopkins. Here's Taylor Hall, takes it off the boards, feeds the point. Back along the board, Schultz holds the puck in. Yakupov wheels it along the boards. Hall. Here's Nugent Hopkins now. Carlson trying to contain him. Out of the corner, Yakupov to the other side. Hall feeds the point. Belov now. No shot, ran out of room. Now just trying to keep it inside the zone. Nugent Hopkins takes a shot from Chris Neal, who then spins him around. Puck comes free, and it's finally cleared back out to center. To the line, here's Yakupov. Wierkosh couldn't get a full hit on him. Centering pass knocked away, and Wierkosh sends it off the glass and back out to center.
Looks like a tired Senators line needs to get off. All of this has been 5-on-5.
As Taylor Hall tries to skate through the stick check of Zach Smith. And now Ottawa gets the rest of its change. Barron's wide side, his pass doesn't connect. Back through the middle and inside the zone. Conacher, he's taken down on the way in. Falls, no penalty call up to center. Here's Perron. Perron gets inside the zone, tries to centers. Phillips bounces him into the boards. Puck comes free. McCulloch trying to skate away from the checking. Gives the puck away just inside the line. Centering pass back in front. Perron goes to the forehand, then drives Leonard into the post.
Has to be a penalty.
And there's no penalty call on the way as Gryba comes in. Now Ryan Smith comes in to grab Gryba. And everybody do up their cinches because the rodeo has begun.
Well, there was no apparent way that the goaltender, Perron was trying to avoid the goaltender, did not try and stop. He simply bowled him over. And obviously counting on the fact that maybe the defenseman pushed him at some point, but you can see it yourself. Here a turnover, almost very costly by the Senators, but you see where Perron continued to go on his path. A little earlier, we bring it back to the Bobby Ryan. We thought it may have been the puck, but you saw how the right leg got brushed up against the goalpost right here. A little bit out of control as he got his right leg tied up with the Oiler defenseman and then went into the goalpost and is feeling it now as he went off the ice.
Senators 0 for 1 on the power play. Got 3 shots in their first power play. Ryan Smith, the only one who goes off, and that's for roughing after the goaltender was hit. So no penalty for goaltender interference out of all that, but Ottawa does come out with the power play. And right or wrong, you can agree or disagree, but you know what the Senators were saying to the official. Okay, well, if they can do that to our goalie, we expect to be able to do the same to theirs. So we'll see if that comes about. We'll see if that becomes a storyline, and we'll see how much contact Devan Dubnyk sees in the rest of this game.
Well, I think Brad Watson missed the call, but Justin St. Pierre came back with the roughing for Ryan Smith. So maybe in the eyes of everybody on the ice, Senators got their power play.
Into the zone. Back to the point. Here's Carlson. Works it across. Phillips sends a shot through. It's scooped up by Dubnyk. And now Acton in front of the net, having a disagreement with MacArthur, with Turris. And actually Ladislav Schmid comes in now because he'd like to have a disagreement too.
Well, there should be a lot of action in front of the net. The Ottawa Senators have got to get the puck to the net. They've got to try and create something here late in the first period. A power play opportunity that got started with only 38 seconds left in the period. So make use of the time. Now an offensive face-off opportunity with 14.9 seconds remaining. So you know Spezza is trying to get everybody in position. He actually pointed to the clock to Carlson.
Off the draw, Carlson tries to fire one through. That goes off. Eberle. Spezza back to the net. Trying to get it to the front of the net for a late chance. Puck is tipped back to the corner. Along the boards, Neal runs Petrie into the boards. And they're not going to get another chance out of it. Minute 22 remaining in the power play for Ottawa when they come back for period number 2. But after 20 minutes of play, they trail the Oilers 2-0.
This period brought to you by Toyota. The 2013s must go to make room for the 2014s. On now at your Toyota dealer.
Everly and Nugent Hopkins with the goals in period number 1. The Senators have some ground to make up in period 2. Our first period scoring summary brought to you by your Metro Ford dealers of Ottawa.
Not a great start for the Ottawa Senators on their second home game of the season, but this is not the first time the Edmonton Oilers have scored first in the game. Coming in tonight, they did it 5 times, and they lost each one of those 5 games. So we'll see if the Ottawa Senators are able to come back. For the Senators, I have to say that shots on goal, that's a big improvement over what they've seen in the past, but it doesn't help being behind by 2. And the other thing I think is most important, coming out of that period, Matt Kassian had 3 shifts, and he leads the Senators with 3 hits.
There you go, down to ice level. Here's Sean McKenzie and Jason York, boys.
Thank you, Dean. Another slow start from the Senators. Mark Method has been taking heat for both those goals, but as a former defenseman, how did you see them?
Well, I'm actually the president of the Bright Shot Defensemen's Union. There's always 2 sides to every story on a goal. And early in the first period, it's easy to look at the stats and say Mark Method is -2. But you watch the big picture here. Method is going in for the pinch. He's got a high guy there, Jason Spezza, who gets caught flat-footed. Everly is off to the races, 2-on-1 on Yurkosh, who does a nice job leaving the shooter for Leonard, but Everly does a nice job finishing there. Right here, down low, you got 3 Ottawa Senators forwards. You can actually almost draw a circle around them. All of a sudden, 1, 2, 3 Edmonton Oilers, 3 Senators caught on the wrong side of the puck. You got a miniature 3-on-2 in your own zone. Method loses track of the puck. Rebound, all of a sudden it's 2-0.
What do the Senators have to do better in the second here to avoid going down even worse than 2-0?
Well, I hate to be a cliche guy, but you heard Chris Neal, and it's just getting more pucks deep, getting a forecheck. You saw Bobby Ryan with a simple chip earlier. Chip it by those young D and get a nice forecheck going.
Thanks, Yorkie. Dean, Denny.
All right, thank you very much. I think, Denny, the irony is, at least on me, is very thick here in that we spent so much time during the pregame show and then our intro to the game and highlighting it and just doing it again, shot counts and how badly Ottawa has been outshot. The irony here is that Ottawa right now is more than doubling the Oilers in shots, which has been a rarity this year, and they're down 2-0. You may want to go back to just letting the Edmonton Oilers blister your net with pucks, because it seems like that's what Ottawa's used to. This getting a lot of shots and getting some great chances doesn't seem to be working out.
Well, a couple of errors caused the fact that the Senators are down by 2. You know, as we saw, Jason Spezza really has got to play the part of a defenseman when he is actually backing up a defenseman who's pinching at Mark Method. And then, of course, I feel that Robert Leonard had the initial shot, did not know where the rebound was going, so he could not move the body to receive the rebound goal by Nugent Hopkins. And that's basically the situation in the first period. But the shots on goal, you've got to keep it going. And for the Ottawa Senators, they basically have to step up their game and get to what appeared to be a shaky Devan Dubnyk early in the hockey game.
Saw Bobby Ryan moments ago. He was out there just having a twirl, testing things out after he went off limping late in period 1. And you can see he is
not 100%.
On the bench. And, yeah, still, I think you can see he's still trying to figure out if he's NHL worthy as far as playability goes right now. And you can almost see the body language where he's leaning towards heading back to the locker room. He's not sitting, he's standing as this power play opens up for Ottawa to open up period number 2. 1:16 to go, and the man advantage for the Senators, and here's Weirkosh. Lead pass to the line, deflects into the zone. Spezza tips it in, goes to get it. Swats it back to the corner. Off the boards. Carlson there to hold it in. Back to the other side. Spezza gets it across. Weirkosh delays. Now sends it around the boards. Spezza on the other side waiting for it. Finds a way to get it back to Carlson. Carlson feeds it across. Weirkosh sends a shot through, and that one hit the side of the net. Conacher to the corner. Spezza tries to wheel it back again. Weirkosh in from the point again. Back of the net. Conger, rather make that Conacher. Runs it back. Here's Carlson. Wines fires right on Dubnyk to save. And then Conacher.
Yep, you got it.
The speed bag for Schmid and Petrie.
Somehow he doesn't mind. He's giving it back to him verbally, I think. But this is, if there's anything that Conacher is looking for, is more shots directed at the net. Because he is solidly in that position in front of the net, much like he was in Phoenix. Here's a pretty good shot. Wierkosh keeps his head up, goes wide. Look at that. That was inches away from getting to the inside. There's no chance for Dubnyk on that one because of Conacher's screen in front of the net.
Clearing attempt fails. Back to the point. Phillips heals it. And then a little bit of face-off inside the zone. Bobby Ryan out to try and test that leg on this power play. You can still see that kind of bothered by it.
Well, you can see Bobby Ryan was pointing with the stick. He wanted Phillips to get the shot, but from where Bobby Ryan was, he figured shot, rebound, I'm on the rebound. That's why he was trying to direct traffic, and the puck eventually got to Phillips, but unfortunately for Chris Phillips, he was not able to get good wood on this shot.
Here's Carlson backpedaling in his own zone ahead to Kyle Turris. Turris snaps it cross ice out of the reach of Chris Phillips, and it's quickly cleared back down ice. Ottawa will not get another full rush as Smith comes out of the box now. Puck is tipped into the Edmonton zone. MacArthur first in to get it. Dubnyk steers it to the corner. On the boards. Back to the line. Cowan couldn't hold it in. He had to lift the stick of the Edmonton player right at the line, so the puck slides all the way back down ice. Driving it. Ahead to Cowan. Cowan fires the puck around the boards. Turris stops it up with his skates. Here's Bobby Ryan. Ryan pulls it away. Puck bounces back to the front of the net, stolen away, and the Oilers bring it back to center.
Bobby Ryan's shift is a little shorter than one would expect. His two line mates are still on the ice. Well, at least Turris is, and MacArthur, so we'll see if that's indicative of something else.
Here's Yakupov trying to get it out to center. Lead pass up the boards by Beloff. Goes all the way down ice. And here's Jared Cowan back to get it. Lead pass. Smith tips it out to center. Greening tries to shuttle it along the boards into the Edmonton zone. On the other side, Gryba fires it in. Ottawa changes their defense. Neal goes in and puts Petrie in the board. Centering pass for Smith. Doesn't get through. Wierkosh comes in from the point to try and keep it alive. Couldn't do it. Puck comes out to center. Wierkosh finds it. Carries it back to the line. Cuts back. His shot doesn't get through. Neal trying to get his stick free. He's tripped on the way to the net. Puck back up the boards and out to center. Hemsky to the boards. Ryan Smith steps away from a check. Cowan takes down his man. Here's Ryan Smith back to the net looking for an option. Tries the wrap around. Doesn't work as Leonard has the pad down and a little pile up side of the net.
This HD broadcast presented by Bell 5 TV. Watching hockey just got better.
For those of you who didn't have a chance to see Gretzky play, this is what he did. Look at how tough it is for a defenseman to make a commitment either way. Wierkosh really is hoping that Ryan Smith goes and makes a play first so he can kind of recover. But it's really, really tough. And Gretzky, of course, perfected that kind of a play. That's why they called it his office. It's an anxious spot to be in for the defenseman.
Tougher too for the goalies now with the depth of the nets being changed. Going to get a cross-checking call here. And again, the Oilers will go to the power play. Spezza will head off.
You know what? I mean, I talked to one of the old-timers the other day. No need to say his name, but the fact is played a long time in the game, and he said, you know, I can't understand why so many guys turn their back and they fall forward. It's like they don't have great balance anymore. I mean, if I tried to do this to Johnny Busick, okay, 25 years ago, I just would have broken my hockey stick. He wouldn't have fallen forward.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you, although the one caveat I would put on that is I'm not sure that Luke Gazdic would lead the league in balance.
Okay. Fair enough.
Just saying.
Fair enough.
Here's Everly. Back of the net. They run it around the boards. Back to the point. Schultz goes wide side. Taylor Hall waiting on the backside, calling for it. Shot through traffic, deflected low. Cowan chips the puck to the boards. Now here's Taylor Hall. Centering pass knocked down by Kyle Turris. Short-handed out to center. He and MacArthur. MacArthur. Turris moves in. His shot off the blocker of Dubnyk.
That save looked pretty good and too comfortable to make the Senators any comfortable, as Dubnyk is looking like he's gaining a little confidence as the game is going on.
Turris gets to center, shovels the puck down to the Oiler line before he's rubbed off. Here's Everly back inside the Ottawa zone, plays it to the board, stolen away by Grant. Grant short-handed back the other way, tries to make a play on Schultz, gets a backhander away, and Dubnyk forced to make the save. Condra and Grant out there in the penalty kill as the forwards. There's the little change of speed allows Nail Yakupov to gallop into the zone, but he loses the puck. Cleared along the boards, and it goes up and into the Edmonton bench. Faceoff will come outside the line as the puck went off an Oiler player.
3 shorthanded goals against, the most in the National Hockey League by the Edmonton Oilers, and here was an opportunity. A 2-on-1 shorthanded by the line makes Turris and MacArthur. Solid blocker save. And on the same shift, Grant coming up. Derek Grant had 5 shorthanded goals in the American League last year, and he too trying to create an opportunity shorthanded for himself. Did get the shot on goal week 1, but did get the puck to the Oiler net.
Beloff, long lead pass. Knocked down in the neutral zone. McCulloch sends it back to the Oiler line. Nearly knocked down by Zach Smith. Here's Nail Yakupov again. Smith puts him into the boards. And now Beloff back up ice. Through the middle. Hemsky to the line, flips it in. Ales Hemsky, the former Hull Olympic. Seems to be perennially on the trade block in Edmonton, yet never traded.
I know.
I'm not sure if there's any.
You know what? He gets a convenient injury.
Here's Hemsky with a shot, and that one goes high and is difficult, but still playable for Robin Leonard.
Premier League action, Aston Villa versus Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet World.
The penalty now expired. Ottawa actually outshot Edmonton on that power play 4-2. I'm not sure if you're the coach of the power play that's the way you're drawing it up, but out to center. Puck is knocked down. Here's Taylor Hall back the other way. Hall drops it off, gets it back. Carlson picks it up. Carlson delays, feeds it ahead. Spets at center, leaves it for Conacher. Conacher at the line. McCulloch tried to give it back to him, but he cut to the wrong spot, zigging when he should have zagged. Puck is knocked down inside the zone. Here's Perron coming in. Penalty call is on the way against Ottawa once again. And they're going to call this hooking. So again, the Oilers to the power play when we return to Canadian Tire Senators hockey.
Don't miss the rematch as the Anaheim Ducks visit Canadian Tire Center on Friday, October 25th. Then it's the San Jose Sharks on the 27th. For more information, go to capitaltickets.ca.
In the penalty box for hooking, I got to tell you something. This is, you get beat on the play like Carlson did, so that's not a bad hook because a goal is about to be scored, a real chance. You're going to get penalties. Get them to stop a possible goal being scored. Don't get your hooking or tripping or holding penalties in the corner or at center ice. So even though Carlson made a mistake, fished for the puck a little bit, I think it's probably a good penalty to take.
Oilers again on the power play. There's a shot right on. Save is made. Loose puck steered to the corner. Everly had it slide right by him. Phillips takes it off the board. Snaps it back to the point and down ice. Only one true defenseman on the ice for the Oilers right now. And that is Justin Schultz. Schultz last year had 4 power play goals. Thought clears it off the boards, but not out. Here's Perron to the corner. Eberle taken into the boards by Phillips. And that one goes up and out of play, so a face-off will stay in the Ottawa zone to the left of Robin Leonard.
Well, as Dean mentioned, no goals for Justin Schultz. But he is a young guy that a lot of teams were after. Wanted him on the back line. They see the makings of a power play quarterback down the road. He does have 5 assists so far this year.
Cabello to take the draw. Down the boards he sends it back on the point on the other side. Just held in there by Beloff. They try to move it to the front of that. Driver pins his man. Here's Beloff back at the point. Cross to Yakupov. His shot. Pad save. Loose puck in front. Steered ahead by Colin Greening. Greening shovels it back to the line and out. Now Zach Smith trying to chase Beloff. Beloff leaves the puck there for Yakupov. 35 seconds to go in the Oilers' power play. To the line and in once again. Zach Smith comes across. Takes his man off the puck. Greiba clears it. Beloff at the point. Pollock on him trying to get it out. They do finally poke it back out of the zone. Cross ice. Yakupov bouncing it back inside the line. Here's Hemsky now. Hemsky wheels it back to the point. Had Ryan Smith go into the net. Beloff winds up, winds and fires. It's knocked down in front. Puck is steered wide. Quick shot misses wide. Back to the point. Zach Smith chops it back outside the zone. Carlson comes out. Puck is knocked down by McCulloch, and now Hemsky has to race for it. Ottawa changing now. And Arcapello, he just dumps the puck in, heads off on a change. To the line, here's Conacher. Picks it up inside the zone, breaks on. As he overskated the puck, swings it around the boards. Lafont fires in from the point to keep it alive. Back to the net. Bobby Ryan has to go off his skates. Taylor Hall slides the puck ahead. Spezza tries to take it off the boards. It comes outside the line. Conacher tried to drop it back, but it hit Rierkosh's skate. Back to even strength hockey now is Eberle out of his own zone. Goes wide side of it to the line and in. Here's Mafat along the boards, comes across, steers the puck ahead. Bobby Ryan. Ahead to the line for Mafat. Mafat carries it in. Mafat gets a lane, takes it, whips a wrister wide, now goes after his own rebound, gets to the line and holds it in. Spezza through a crowd, trying to draw it back. Taps it in front for Bobby Ryan, but it hops off his stick. Out to center now. Jared Cowan comes across, knocks it away from Acton to the line. Bobby Ryan feeds it across. Carlson swings it back in front. Round the boards now. Cowan, pile of bodies in front, so he tries the other side. Carlson, his shot. That's knocked down on the way to the net by Gadsden. In the corner. Carlson's pass, knocked down. Gazdzik just clears it out to center. Brandt inside the line has a goal over his stick. Now Petrie clears it ahead. Out to center. Brown goes wide side. Puck is dumped into the corner. Jared Cowan takes a bump. Cross ice now. Carlson at the line. Couldn't get in cleanly to Condra. Tries the other side. Here's Neal. Neal gets a bump. Out of the net. Dubnyk gets a piece of it but can't control it. Back to the point. Phillips with a shot. And again, big rebound. As Dubnyk made the first save, but he's spitting them out like a Pez dispenser. Puck to the corner now. McCulloch comes in to try and help out. Puck comes free. Perron gets it across. Gazdzik out to center. Just bounces it down to the Ottawa line. Phillips off the board. Steers it down to the line. Arthur spun around on the play. Now the Oilers just trying to get it out. Perron and Phillips. Racked up at the line, can't get through anywhere. Taylor Hall run into the boards by Greiba, and he's not happy and takes a swing at Greiba as Taylor Hall is both, I believe, winged and angry, and now he'll have a separate place to think about it as Ottawa will go to the power play when we return.
Taylor Hall in the penalty box. Taylor Hall leads the team in shots on goal, not the penalty box. But here he gets upset. See the right leg of Greiba grabs or basically comes into the left leg of Taylor Hall, and he is upset and swings his stick. And the referee saw the latter, the swinging of the stick. The power play Senators.
So the brief discussion that Taylor Hall had, wanted to know how he can get tabbed for Spezza with a shot, how he can get tabbed with slashing when he never made contact. I think it draws him to the careless use of the stick thing. Puck is cleared all the way back down ice. Leonard leaves it there for Carlson. Down to the line. Tries to dump it in. That one whistled down as Carlson tried to play the timing game, but didn't time it right.
Wondering if Spezza didn't get there or was it quicker, but there you go. Well, the Senators are looking for their top dogs to get things going here in terms of power play opportunities. Spezza's got one, and Conacher's got one, and Bobby Ryan has two. That accounts for the 4 power play goals the Senators have had this season.
For a change, the Senators are leading this game in most of these stats, which are indicators of a lead. Shots, face-offs, possession time, but they're trailing 2-0. Spezza bouncing it back along the boards, quickly across. Wiercott winds, fires, and a glove save by Dubnyk.
Am I seeing things, or am I seeing more confidence every save by Kevin Dubnyk? Devin Dubnyk, sorry. That's exactly the comments of Coach Dallas Eakins, kind of saying he had a good game in the Island against the Islanders. It was a loss, but we saw that he played with confidence, and we want to build on that. Now, started a little shaky for Devin Dubnyk in his hockey game. In the last couple of saves, he's looked solid.
Well, it's not good for your goaltenders, and it's usually not good for your team's record. And the Oilers are a case in point there. When both of your goaltenders have a save percentage below 900, there's not many teams that win. And Edmonton has not been winning, and both goaltenders are below 900. Here's Carlson. Slides it across. Phillips shot deflected by Dubnyk. We'll try this again. Carlson. Someone may want to get on Phillips here unless they want him to shoot all day. Carlson decides to shoot this time. Just misses high. Off the boards. Ference goes down, gets it around to the other side. Phillips comes across to hold it in. And finally, just barely, the Oilers get it out. Here's Carlson over to pick it up.
The sound of the puck hitting the backboards always reminds me of a teammate's comment. J.P. Parise, Zach Parise's father, when he did that a couple of times, missing the net, he'd say, "Dennis, your shot really sounds good."
Here's Bobby Ryan in the corner. You can hear the sound of a horn. Ryan tries to go cross ice. Carlson back to the point. Wiercott with a shot deflected side of the net. MacArthur couldn't get his stick free. Taylor Hall is out now. Eberle to center. Eberle to the line, carries it in, drops it. Taylor Hall moves in, his shot right on. Save is made. Leonard holds on, and a face-off to his right.
NFL on Sportsnet and City. Baltimore taking on Pittsburgh, as well as Houston versus Kansas City. You can catch that tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
As you can see, Taylor Hall going to the locker room. His knee buckled on him after that shot, and so whatever the contact was from Greiba originally, it caused some damage that is now coming to the fore.
Now he's coming out of the box, top of your screen. He seems to be okay. But as he goes in and takes this shot, see how he leans on the left leg and it kind of buckles on him. So that must be as a result of the contact he had with Greiba and the reason why he got so upset. Now he's got to go to the dressing room to really have it checked. Remember, he came from the penalty box.
Arcobello tries one extra pass that doesn't work. Oilers hold it in, but just barely. Ryan Smith back. Here's Arcobello back to the point. Shot through Perron, knocks it down, turns back to the point. Bella with a shot. It's redirected in front, and a nice reaction save by Leonard. And then the puck is cleared up and out of play. Face off back in the Ottawa end when we return. Still a 2-0 Oiler lead in period 2.
Now we showed you Taylor Hall going off the ice with a sore knee, and now the Ottawa Senators have possibly their best defenseman, Marc Methot, taking that shot back of the right knee, it appears, and that's what directed it. And of course, a solid save on that unexpected redirection in front of the net by Leonard. But Methot has gone to the dressing rooms.
Off the draw, Petrie sends it in behind the net. Jared Cowan along the boards. Cowell comes back in behind his net. Didn't like the looks of the breakout, so he leaves it for Spezza. Didn't like the look of it either, just sends it out to the neutral zone. That was knocked down with a high stick by David Perron, the former St. Louis Blue. Back in the zone, Petrie slides it across. Oilers very cautious in their breakout here through the middle. Here's Perron to the line. Carries it in, and offside the call, a very late call from Lonnie Cameron. Nonetheless, a faceoff.
Local sports on Rogers TV. Your community, your teams. For the most local sports, watch Rogers TV.
Well, he's kept the Ottawa Senators from scoring, but that was the first time this season that, well, so far, his team and the New Jersey Devils lead the NHL by allowing 3 or more goals in each one of the games they played in. So that's a big O you see there in front of the Senators on the scoreboard is not normally what Dallas Eakins, the first-year coach of these Oilers, is used to seeing.
Greiba tries to shovel it back in, but couldn't get it to a friendly stick. It's sent all the way back down ice, where Greiba will glide back and pick it up for the icing call. Face-off back down inside the Edmonton zone with less than 5 to go in period 2.
All right, Taylor Hall, you see with the contact there, incidental contact, right leg to left knee of Taylor Hall. He's hurting right there. There he takes the penalty. Now he's out of the box. Look at that left leg. That's the same left leg. Wow, there's something going on in that knee. I don't want to speculate, but he went off. And they will have a much better look at Taylor Hall's left leg. He has not returned.
Penalty call is on the way as Grant is against the boards, and coming in was Denis Grebishkov and put him into the glass, so Ottawa will go to the power play.
Battle for the puck in behind the net. Problem, puck wasn't there. There you see Grebishkov coming in. The puck is way to the right side of your screen. Still a battle going on for the puck, but not quite where Grebishkov was. And then the hit on Derek Grant.
Calling it interference.
A lot of opportunities for the Ottawa Senators. Like you're saying, D, I mean, almost everything is turned around except the scoring.
Carlson moves in. His shot misses high. The jitters and all the other things that Devan Dubnyk had in period 1 are now gone in period 2, and he could be tough to beat. He's got himself settled down and is obviously making the saves he has to. Carlson tried to drop it back. Acton knocked it down. McCauley gets it across ice. Here's Wiercott. Sends it through the box. Back to the line. Here's Carlson to get it. Carlson feeds it back to the point. McCauley works it across. Now Spezza. Spezza tried to go low to the corner for Carlson. Back the other way. Carlson for Spezza. Spezza takes it off the boards. Tries to shovel it back to Wiercott. Intercepted by Boyd Gordon, who sends it back down ice. Everly comes over the boards, well away from where his teammate went off. Oilers lucky not to be called for the illegal change there. Puck is dropped off by Turris and cleared back down ice by Everly.
Dean, to your point about the goaltender getting more confident, guys can feel that on the ice, and the Senators haven't had a shot yet on the power play. They try and do other things, maybe overpass when the guy's playing well. Sometimes it takes the natural instincts away from the shooter. Instead of shooting, they're trying that extra pass to beat a confident goaltender. That's bad remedy right now for the Senators.
To the line and in, Turris. Tried to thread the needle, couldn't do it. All the way back down ice. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Senators 0 for 3 on the power play this afternoon with 8 shots. So they've had their chances.
Edmonton's come in with 69% effectiveness, killing penalties, worst in the league. They're looking pretty good right now.
Ironically enough, as almost anyone will tell you, your most important penalty killer is your goaltender. Dubnyk has been strong since some early miscues, and the penalty kill has been good. No coincidence there. Puck comes back out front again. Turris didn't see it, though. Back to even strength hockey. There's a shot. Dubnyk makes the save. Puck is cleared. Another chance turning. Ryan with a shot. That's blocked. Puck to the corner. Out of the corner. Turris. Back to Bobby Ryan. Turns, falls, and now he's taken hard into the boards by Ference.
Ference a little ticked off because Bobby Ryan came right in and knocked him down with a clean check. Ference, the veteran, acquired from the Boston Bruins. There to add stability. Found himself on his rear end. Didn't like it.
Conacher tips the puck in. Here's Dubnyk out of the net. Clears it around the boards. Puck in the corner. Schmid had the stick chopped out of his hands by Chris Neal. And then Schmid just drops Neal. So they didn't call the stick chop or the interference. So they've each gotten away with one. At center. To the line and in. Zach Smith trying to tie up his man. Now along the boards. Smith.
Good news, we've seen the thought back in the lineup.
And he's clearly trying to increase the physical content in this game as Mathot for the second time. Back in front, Smith, backhander, save is made by Leonard. Oh, what a save by Robin Leonard. At center, Neal pops the puck down inside the Edmonton zone. Senators get their change in this final minute of period number 2. Hemsky off the boards to center. Phillips picks it up. Drops it, Cowan. Lead pass. Spezza to the line and in. Tries to draw it off to the boards. Here's Colin Greening. Fires it in. Tipped off the pad of Dubnyk. One big pad save at one end, another at the other. Colin Greening drilled from behind as he goes down after the hit from Belov. Centering pass. Right off the stick of Greening. Puck trickles to the corner. 25 seconds to go in the period. And the Oilers just want to get it out. Flipping it high in the air. Phillips gloves it down. Back through the middle. Here comes Spezza to the line. Fires the puck in. Then avoids a check from Nail Yakupov. And we're going to get a slashing call here.
I think they're both going to go. You get a cross check and a slash. You take a look at this save. Really a solid save as the defensemen are getting crossed up. Now you were in the middle of a line change. So you had Mathot and you had Cowan together on the ice. Cowan playing the right side, and they really got mixed up. That's why you got Ryan Smith ends up going all alone on the goaltender, Robin Leonard. And if there's one save that you might look back on, if the Senators are able to come back and get back in this hockey game, you may just look at that save as having been a big, important one in the overall big picture of this game.
So 4-on-4 with Greening and Nail Yakupov, both tagged for 2-minute minors. Off the face-off, Carlson dumps it in the final few moments of period number 2. And Schultz floats the puck back down ice. A 2-0 lead for the Oilers after 40. Hockey Central at the intermission. Neil Smith, John Shannon, and your host, as always, here's Darren Millard. Our second period scoring summary is brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, and big screen TVs.
Well, you see the big zero by the Ottawa Senators that is of concern, but there are a lot of things that are not necessarily. 25 shots on goal, and there you see 12 blocked shots, and you had 14 missed shots. Where the Senators missed the net, they actually directed 51 shots at Devan Dubnyk. Now it's time to get one by him, but my feeling is for the Ottawa Senators to get one by that confident goaltender, you're just going to have to get a screen shot by him. So again, pucks to the net, a lot of bodies to the net. Same old, as the Ottawa Senators are also getting strong in the face-off circle.
Ice level. Here's Sean and Jason.
Thank you, Dean Yorkie. When I talked to Jason Spezza at the intermission, he said they had their chances. They just haven't been able to beat Devan Dubnyk. What do they have to do in the third to get one past them?
Well, traffic in front, and they were doing it a little bit earlier on in the game, but at 6'6", it's a very difficult task to get that traffic. You saw Corey Conacher earlier in the game doing a nice job screening, but Dubnyk can still see the puck. In the second period, they made an adjustment, and they put Colin Greening in front, 6'4", bigger man, and you see Dubnyk who has to work harder to start looking around the bigger man in Greening.
The Senators picked up their physical play in the second. Do you expect to see them coming out trying to crash bodies with the Oilers in the third?
Absolutely, especially guys like Zach Smith, Colin Greening, Chris Neal. Those players need to elevate and start getting that heavy forecheck going.
Yorkie, thank you. Dean, Denny.
Thank you very much, boys. So we have done a quick count, and we'll wait till we get official word, but we do not believe that Taylor Hall is back on the Edmonton bench. And the way he went off and the help he required to get to the locker room would lead me to believe that head coach Dallas Eakins will not have his services available to him for period number 3.
Now, Dean, we talked about Alex Hemsky and all the promises of a great career and then the trade and not be happy with him, and make the comment that he was often injured at the time when they wanted to make a trade deal. Well, Taylor Hall, again, a young player brought up at 18 years old, has already missed 42 NHL games in his young career, and seems like he'll miss more.
Nugent Hopkins' shot is knocked down on the way to the net by Jared Cowan and backup ice. Spezza couldn't get the pass through to McCulloch. Schmid slides it across to his partner. Now Petrie gets the puck ahead. Here's Eberle with it. In the first half of period number 1 or thereabouts, the Edmonton Oilers got 2 pucks by Robin Leonard early on, and that's been the difference in this game so far. In the first period, Devan Dubnyk was sketchy at best. Pucks were flying off him everywhere, but he has really gathered himself up, and in the last 2 periods, he has been very strong. Let's go down to ice level. Here's Sean.
The Edmonton Oilers just made it official that Taylor Hall will not return to the game with a lower body injury. It looks like a knee, and we will not see Hall back on the Oilers bench this game.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. So what we thought is indeed true.
There you see 83 and 1. That's Alex Hemsky. Just a quick look at his career stats, and you figure he had 1 season where he came close to playing a full season, and that was in 2005 and 2006. 81 games he played, 77 points he scored, and that's where all of the superlatives came from. But since then, has not really been able to put a consistent, healthy season together.
MacArthur tips it in, goes to chase it himself. Schultz trying to angle him. He drops the puck off in the corner.
Around a little bit. You want him to bring those elements, and I was listening to him talk in French in an interview between periods, and he was saying that Dallas Eakins is taking guys in and out of the lineup, moving lines around, doing everything he possibly can to try and get this team at least 1 win. And I thought it was interesting because he mentioned the name of Nick Schultz, as one of the experienced defensemen on the team. He was a healthy scratch. He actually said, I don't know why he's out of the lineup. Odd answer, really.
Nick Schultz is out of the lineup as Karlsson tries to center the puck. Not a huge shocker here, but with nearly 18 minutes of play through 2 periods of hockey, Erik Karlsson is the highest minute count guy in this game for both teams, which is not super shocking since on an average per game he's number 3 in the league. The shot from the point kicked out by Dubnyk calmly behind Suter and Weidman in Calgary. Karlsson averaging 27-22 per game as Mathot gets by his check to keep the puck in, pokes it to the corner. Here's Ryan. Knew he didn't have anybody back at the point though. Coming across ice. Hemsky gives it away. Spezza misses wide.
The 15th missed shot by the Senators in the game.
Well, you mentioned it off the top, and if you go by the numbers that usually indicate superiority, Ottawa's got all of them after 2 periods of play. Lead in shots, 25-15. Face-off circle, 61%. Spence into the zone, gets a shot, doesn't get through. Takeaways, they've doubled Edmonton in takeaways, 6-3. In giveaways, Edmonton's committed 7, Ottawa 3, winning on that side of it. There's the missed shots you mentioned, 14-2. Ottawa's missed too many shots, and the Dubnyk factor. But all the numbers indicate it should be Ottawa leading 2-0, but they're not.
Yeah, a little late coming on the ice, but a line change turned out to be a good thing for Jason Spezza as he picks up a loose puck, trying to make that fine shot. That could very well be something we talked about in the second period. You get a confident goaltender, big goaltender. Now you're trying to pick the top corner rather than get the puck on the net as hard as you can. And don't only worry about, I'm either going high or I'm going low. Don't try and pick the corners.
Now there's the results of Jason Spezza's shot as he broke the glass in behind the Oiler goal with that shot. Down to ice level and check in with Sean as they fix the glass.
Gillette drafted Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet 360. It's the search for Canada's next sportscaster. Gillette drafted Friday, 10 p.m. Aspiring broadcasters compete for a 1-year contract at Sportsnet and a 1-year contract to be a Gillette spokesperson.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me is whose job are they intending to find this guy a replacement of? Fresh pane of glass, Spezza to shoot at.
He's got the heavy shot and he's trying to get that top shelfer.
See that fan behind the glass scared her.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, Jason Spezza's got to be putting pressure on himself. He understands. I mean, the newly named captain of this franchise couldn't get a better example of a captain putting the team on his shoulders, getting a hat trick in Phoenix and salvaging those points to make the road trip a 500 road trip. Scores in the first game back against New Jersey. And he's looking very intent on doing the same thing here if he gets a good chance.
Spezza wheels the puck ahead. Ottawa breaks it out. Here's McCulloch. Cross corners the puck. Conacher. Trying to get in on Petrie. Petrie banks it off the boards, but a nice pinch by Mathot keeps the puck alive. Round the board. Spezza waiting on the other side. The space sends it in front. Redirected. Everybody goes down. McCulloch. And we're going to get a penalty call here. It's going to be against somebody from Ottawa, either Conacher or McCulloch for goaltender interference.
It would be 2 penalties.
We may get 2 penalties here. You're right.
Oh, just at a time when you want to try and get the flow going the other way, maybe build a little momentum. It appears as though Ottawa is going to get 2 penalties on the same play about 200 feet apart. There's the one going to the net. You know McCulloch's going to get interference. And then the puck goes completely the other way, and there goes Cowan, as a matter of fact, as he's going to go to the penalty box.
Chris Phillips, when he was having a discussion with the referees, pointed down at the other end.
Now this one here is brutal. That is a brutal call. Jeff Petrie, I think it was, just absolutely took that dive as he brushed the pants of Cowan. That is a tough call. And now having to try and explain it to Chris Phillips as the referee. Oh boy. I mean, listen, let alone the thought of getting a penalty that maybe you shouldn't get, but now this is going to make it a 5-on-3. How does that happen?
Well, he's not happy about that, obviously, number one. But number two, he's not happy about the fact that early in the game, his goaltender got bowled over and there was no penalty call. Now let's see Cowan's again.
If anything, this becomes an interference call on the forward, taking the defenseman out. Wow, that is a tough call. And, of course, the referees aren't going to take it back. I mean, maybe Brad Watson is saying, sorry, I didn't quite see it, because it came up on the board during the timeout, and Brad Watson and Chris Phillips are both looking at the play, so it was evidence that it was an inappropriate call, but at this point, what are you going to do? Now you got to suck it up and kill it off for 2 minutes. shorthanded by 2 men.
Other than throwing your own gloves into the 5th row, it's
Yeah.
hard to imagine a more demonstrative dive than that one. Back at the point. Belov. Eberle turns out with it. You know the Oilers, too. They know that the next penalty call is going to them no matter what. When an official blows one that bad, they always make it up somehow, or try to. Centering pass, knocked down. Puck is cleared outside the line and back down ice.
Yeah, that was Zach Smith. Good work by Zach Smith there, working on the face-off and just to get the puck out.
Here's Nugent Hopkins to the line. Spins at the line. And it's hacked back down ice by Greiba.
You got to give the fans, they sometimes call the 6th man on the ice. They are really cheering this threesome on the ice for the Senators. They're being vocal. This is great.
Here's Belov. Slides it across. Schultz switches sides. Gets the puck, lines, fires right on. Save is made by Leonard. Loose puck cleared to the corner. Round the board, sent back to the point. And Schultz can't get there to hold it in.
You can see why the fans are really cheering the workmanlike attitude of these Senators. That was Condra working to get the puck out.
Nugent Hopkins to the line, throws it wide side for Eberle. Eberle gets hooked up, puck comes free, cleared back down ice once again. 35 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. You know, for the officials too, after a call like that with Petrie, professionally you have to think that a referee is not going to be a happy guy when a player tries to fool him like that. That is a sign of disrespect for the officials when you're doing that. And clearly these two officials, and Justin St. Pierre and Brad Watson, were disrespected by Jeff Petrie with that dive.
I wouldn't suggest doing that 30 years ago and not now.
That happens all the time now.
Yeah,
Sadly, it's now a part of the game. There's players in Ottawa that do it. There's players in Toronto. You pick a team, every team, Ottawa, Boston. Dives happen now, but some of them are just so flagrant that it's disrespectful. Puck is cleared by Phillips out and down ice. Racing it. Smith with a shot blocker save from Dubnyk.
Well, in 11 seconds, I think folks are going to hear some kind of a cheer.
Nugent Hopkins to the line. Ryan Smith tries to give the puck back to him. Centering pass. Eberle cuts in. Tries to drop it back and gives it away. We're back to even strength hockey as the Senators burn off the 5-on-3, the full 2-minute 5-on-3. Fans are on their feet. Schmid has the puck in behind him. Here's a steal by Conacher. He's taken down. You knew the arm was going up there. Conacher basically just fell down. But you're going to see a call here as Conacher now may take away his own power play by going after Perron. This is where he's got to be more disciplined than that. Ottawa, we believe, to the power play when we return. For Hockey, brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Ottawa Senators.
I think you're going to say rightly so after I mention this. Hockey players are tough. Yeah, that one hurt a lot, but Bobby Ryan went to the bench, stretched it out, and he is back out on the ice, and even had a pretty good scoring opportunity right from here as he spins and tries to get the puck to the net. Bobby Ryan is back.
Spezza, I guess technically probably lost that draw, but the extra effort keeps the puck in the zone, and he got it back. Spezza wheels it low. Back to the point, Wierkosh plays it back to the boards. Down low to the corner, here's Spezza looking in front for Carlson, but the pass hit him in the skates, and the Oilers clear it back down ice. Up ice they come to the line. Carlson flips it to the corner. Bobby Ryan trying to split the two defense to get in there. Puck is cleared all the way back down ice once again. Robin Leonard waiting for it, tees it up there. Senators 0 for 4 on the power play this afternoon with 8 shots. They have certainly had their chances in this game. To the line, here's Bobby Ryan, leaves it there. Carlson throws it across ice. But Wierkosh had already got himself deep in the zone. Centering pass goes off a leg. Carlson short stops the puck to try and hold it in. And a smart move to spin as he did it, and that took away the attempt by Acton to get to the puck. Here's Carlson. Down low to the corner. Wierkosh plays it deep. Here's McCulloch. Round the boards. Spezza back to the point. Carlson gets it across. Wierkosh with a shot. Puck is popped up in the air. Spezza settles it down. And that one whistled down is coming off a high stick. And right now, I don't think you're going to see much agreement on the Ottawa bench. It came off a stick, but the stick wasn't high.
Well, they're making the face-off all the way down the other way, and I guess they figure that Bobby Ryan touched it while the puck, was up higher than the crossbar. And that's sort of the measure. And here to go. And that's the call that's made, and they're so sure about it. They took away 180 feet of territory from the Ottawa Senators, who have 35 seconds remaining on the power play.
You may need a surveyor's laser to find out if that was above the crossbar. Here's Turris. Loses the puck, and the Oilers just clear it back out again.
And that's penalizing a team big time. And now you got the face-off all the way down in their zone while they have the power play. And that started at 35 seconds. Now there's 11 seconds remaining.
Carlson to the line and in. Tries to wheel it back to himself and just barely holds it in. Then it's blocked and everybody has to come out. We're back to even strength now. As the puck tips off Conacher and in. To the corner it goes. He and Petrie. Puck comes free. MacArthur and Petrie battling for it. Petrie along the boards. MacArthur goes down. Puck is still there. Turris comes out with it. Back to the point. Wierkosh had no shot. Sent it back to the corner. MacArthur along the boards. He's taken out sternly. Puck is cleared ahead. And across ice. Schmid moves the puck down to the Ottawa line. Methot quickly ahead. Turris to MacArthur at the line. Conacher goes wide. Trying to hit the late man. It goes off the glove of Wierkosh. Here's Perron. Thought he had a break, but out of gas from a long shift. Couldn't go anywhere with it. Senators give it up in their own zone. Here's Perron. Was heading off, now headed back into the play. Back along the boards. Here's Ference. Fires it to the net. Tipped on the way there by Perron. He nearly put it in. Short side. As Leonard was going across to where the puck seemed to be headed. And then it was deflected. In the neutral zone. Acton dumps it down to the Ottawa line. Out to center. Greening throws the puck inside the Oilers zone. Neal goes in first to get it. He and Brown collide. Off the boards it comes. Coming across. As it gets tied up by Carlson. Puck comes back. Here's Carlson back in his own end to get it. Luke Gazdic, the Toronto native, former Erie Otter.
Actually, I think when he turned around and he was probably going to deliver a retaliatory shot, and he kept his cool, which is a good thing for the team.
Neal backhands it in. Heads off on a change. Oilers get the puck back to center. Here's Greiba waiting for it. Slides it across to Phillips. Puck hops on him. Greiba once again. His pass. Manages to miss both of his forwards. As Grant and Cassian had the puck in behind both of them. Now here's Grant. 3-on-2 break for Ottawa. Grant down to the line. Loses the puck in the middle of the ice. And it's cleared back out and down once again by Yakupov.
Coach will be happy to see Yakupov come back strong to make a defensive play.
Pounder to the line and in. Here's Cassian. Cassian angled off by Petrie. Puck is cleared around the boards by Boyd Gordon. Couldn't get it out though. Now Ference rolling puck just backhands it to center. Quickly down to the line. Conrad couldn't tip it by Petrie far enough to get good possession. Erik Karlsson now back of his own net. Skates away from Smith out to center. Here's Karlsson down to the other line and in. Slides the line, sends it in front. Conacher, his shot. Dubnyk makes the pad save. Centering pass, pops up in the air. Puck is still loose. Off the board, Spezza tries to center it. Conacher in on the boards. Here's Ryan Smith. McCulloch comes in, gives him a blast. Karlsson holds it in. His shot goes off an Oilers stick over the mesh and into row 22. 2-0 Oilers continue to lead Conacher with the latest chance, but they can't beat the big man from Edmonton. A look at our game review brought to you by the Ottawa Citizen, presenting sponsor of the Senators' 2013-14 season.
Well, hoping to change the trend, and they did score first in this game. The Oilers had not yet won when they scored first. There to see the number. Key injury. Edmonton's going to have to watch that. Taylor Hall with a knee injury. And we talked about the keys for the Ottawa Senators in the open. 6 for 6 on the PK. That's good. They kill off a two-man advantage. But they've also had 5 power plays with no luck.
Shot through a crowd, and Dubnyk tracks it and knocks it down. As the puck is back out to center. Carlson tried to knock it to the open area. Cowan gave the puck away. Carlson steals it back out to center. Carlson tips it down to the Oiler line. It's tied up there with Gordon. Takes a snap at it. Now Ryan Smith flips it down to the Ottawa line and in as Hemsky takes a bit of a shot from Jared Cowan. Spezza to the line, cuts inside the zone, keeps his balance, curls it back. That shot went off a leg to the corner on the other side. Centering pass, Weirkosh has it go off his stick, 2-on-1 the other way. Perrin down to the line, feeds it across ice, it's broken up by Maffat. The pass for Eberle, tipped away by Mark Maffat. And now he gives it away, wraparound chance, Leonard makes the save, loose puck. Weirkosh picks it up, off the boards out to center. Hops over top of the stick of Bobby Ryan. That'll bring an icing call. That'll give us a chance to find out what Jamie Thomas has coming up on Connected right after the game. Jamie?
Coming up, we'll have a full post-game wrap from the Canadian Tire Center, plus the Red Sox can book their ticket to the World Series tonight. We'll preview Game 6 of the ALCS.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Face off to the left of Robin Leonard. Turris wins the draw. Weirkosh tries to clear it. And it goes off the glass, trickles all the way back down ice, and they will come back and do this all over again.
Well, the time is now when the Ottawa Senators starts pressing, and you sort of saw that when Weirkosh starts to press, try to move the puck offensively, try to create something so that they can half the lead and give themselves a chance with only 7:30 remaining. But boy, if you're not careful, this young team and fast team, the Oilers, as everybody knows, will turn an odd man rush on you real quick.
And Weirkosh just tries to clear it out. Does get it out, but the Oilers quickly move it back in along the boards. Alan Greening tied up. Seeing Ryan Nugent-Hopkins battle for space. In from the point, Petrie puts it back in the corner. Along the boards, Colin Greening. Tipped it down to the line. Beloff sends it ahead. Bobby Ryan holds it in, flips it back towards the Edmonton goal. Petrie bobbles the puck, now runs the puck ahead. Gets it back, and he'll try this all over again. Up the wing. Here's Eberle. Flips the puck in. Tries to dance around Phillips to the corner. Taken off the puck by Colin Greening. Phillips now back of his own net. Weighing his options. Carlson, rink wide to the line for Neal. Neal has it knocked off his stick. Eberle back the other way. Eberle loses the puck, but a bad angle shot knocked down by Leonard. Puck is free, and Clark MacArthur puts it in behind his own net. Carlson was already up the ice, though, and has to go back to handle it. Here's Phillips now, ahead to Zach Smith. Zach Smith. They run the puck along the boards. Neal trying to get in to get it. As he and Schmid all wrangled up with each other all the way to the corner. Down the board, centering pass that hits the side of the net. Bouncing away. Dubnyk has his arm in the air, and now the goal is scored. Dubnyk was calling for a stoppage in play. The Senators kept on driving away, and they get on the board with a jam play goal.
Look at the reaction of Chris Neal as he comes to the bench. This is a big goal. This is not something that was beaten and then beat Dubnyk cleanly. It's a miscue on the play. Maybe Chris Neal will be credited with the goal. I think that may have gone off of him. The puck comes up, you'll see right there. Dubnyk is figuring that the puck is on the mesh. But you know what? With the new netting, take a look. The puck will not sit on the netting. The net has been tightened along the sides, and to create maybe that very play where it doesn't put a stoppage to the play. The puck hits the netting. It may have lodged in there in the past, but the referee saw the puck was still alive, kept it going, and I think the goal will be a good one. I don't believe there was any motion with the hand by Chris Neal.
And it was not covered, although Dubnyk had his arm in the air trying to get the whistle.
Yeah, that's not.
But putting your arm in the air doesn't mean.
Yeah, you're on a breakaway. Let me put my arm up.
Yeah. If that works, that's a great play. See Dubnyk thinks the play is pinned.
He's making an assumption right now and maybe thinking, but you know, the new netting is responsible for that. The tighter net, so you can make those tight passes from behind the net, and you see where the puck does not stay and then rolls over the shoulder and drops behind them.
Now what I just realized what they're looking at. That went off the shaft of Neal's stick, then off the glove of Dubnyk, fell behind him and into the net, so they want to make sure that Neal's stick was below the crossbar, which I think that video just showed that it was. We'll see what the final word is from Justin St. Pierre.
After reviewing the play on the ice said good goal.
There you go.
There you go.
So Chris Neal's stick was below the crossbar when the puck went off of it. See if we can see it here. See, it goes off Chris Neal's shaft of the stick right there.
Great angle. Great angle. Great angle. Clearly see it there. Chris Neal is happy, you know. You kind of try and always read the body language. Coming back to the bench, Chris Neal was smiling and pumping everybody, and you had a sense that he knew all along.
Well, the Senators finally find a way to beat Devan Dubnyk. They dug themselves partially out of the hole. And now they need to find out if they can get the other way back again. Leonard makes a save there, and Ottawa tries to bring it out of their own zone. Here's Carlson. Cuts out the center to Spezza. Spezza inside the line. Wheels it off. Here's Conacher. Back in front again for Spezza. Turns. Couldn't get the shot through as he falls. Back along the boards. Petrie gloves the puck ahead. Ryan Smith just scoops it back out to center. Carlson works it across. Cowan through the middle. Backhanded to the line and in. Greening tried to get to it, just tipped away from him at the last second. Clearing attempt fails. Oilers with another chance now, but they got to get it out from underneath Kyle Turris first. Oilers up by a goal late in period number 3 on Canadian Tire Senators hockey. Hardest working Senator brought to you by Marks. Ready for this?
I think everybody out there is ready for this. Hashtag pain. He is a pain to the offenses, to the defensemen on the other side, to the goalies on the other side. Corey Conacher never stops. Hashtag pain.
Not the biggest guy, generously listed at 5'9". He is tough to play against. Turris along the boards. Oilers with a steal, moving in, quick chance, and Leonard makes the save and holds on as Phillips takes down Eberle. And Leonard makes that save and holds on for a face-off to his left.
Mark that one as a save that keeps the play going and the game alive for his teammates. Not played well off the board. Coming in with a big shot, a solid save by Robin Leonard. Goaltender just doing what he's supposed to do, making the save to keep his team within reach. Well, we've had the hashtag pesky Sens. Now is time for them to show that peskiness that we've seen so much in the past. Third period comebacks.
Carlson runs it around the boards. Oilers hold it in. Beloff just sent it back around the boards. And now the Senators. Zach Smith down to the line. Works it across for Chris Neal. Neal taken hard into the boards. Back of the net. Spinning off the check, trying to get some space. MacArthur trying to get free. Neal steers it clear, sends it in front. Tried to set it up for Zach Smith, but the puck is intercepted and then cleared back out again by Eberle. Here's Carlson. Runs it around the boards. Neal picks it up on the other side. Out to center. Neal's pass. Knocked down by Hemsky. Second pass into the skates. And the third one, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins just sent it in and nearly hit Carlson in the head. And now it's picked up by Leonard. And Leonard gets a snow shower that the Ottawa Senators clearly did not think that he should have taken. And so Perron will get a little knock around in front of the net.
Perron's been around enough to know that you don't do that without expecting to create a little heated argument from the other side.
He's also been around long enough to know that when you do it, sometimes their guy gets a penalty.
Sometimes.
Perron now having a talk with Robin Leonard, and I'm not sure there's going to be. I don't think there's going to be a penalty out of this, but they sure are taking a long time to get guys straightened out here.
With 350 games in the NHL, you got to know better than that. But on the other hand, he may be trying to upset. A goaltender has made a couple of good saves, just trying to keep things going. As David Perron, actually, he was the interview I was listening to between periods, and he was saying one of the toughest things for the Oilers right now is to hold the lead in the third period. And he was talking to the interviewer about comments that Coach Dallas Eakins had talked about and reminding them just to play the game and not get anxious. Young teams will do that. They have lost third period leads numerous times, and they have one now.
Well, the Senators now continue to talk with Brad Watson. There's been 3 incidents in this game where they feel there should have been a goaltender interference call, and there wasn't. If Brad Watson was going to call one, it would have happened by now. They're wasting their breath talking to him about it. So you might as well just move on and try and get back and tie this game, because Watson is just not going to call one. Here's McCulloch. Tries to work it to the corner. Perron sends it off the glass. Puck is chopped ahead out to center. And a short little 2-on-1. Here's Nugent-Hopkins, sends it in front. Coming in hard. Jared Cowan puts the shoulder down. And he drives Ales Hemsky into the boards. Carlson now leaves it there. Long lead pass. McCulloch down at the line, tries to flip the puck deep. Spezza comes in, rubs out Eberle along the boards. Puck gets back to the line. Phillips unable to hold it in. Tries to steer it back to Wierkosh, but too much on it. Forces Wierkosh back into his own zone. 2:45 to go in regulation time. Senators down by a goal, despite the fact they have outshot the Oilers 35-19. Here's Bobby Ryan with a shot. Pucker saved. Coming in, Greening couldn't get a shot away. Oilers back out to center. Wide side into the zone. Eberle drops it. Smith tries to give it back to him. That hits a skate. Bobby Ryan too casual, trying to pick up the puck. That allows a Oiler to grab it. And now Greening turns back, passes the puck ahead to the line. Turris cross corners the puck. Greening goes to get it. It's knocked out of midair. Back to the line. Jared Cowan comes over, stops up the rush, tips it back inside the Edmonton end. 2 minutes now remaining. Hemsky again down to the line. Perron taken into the boards. He and Jared Cowan get hooked up. MacArthur comes back to pick up the puck. Leaves it there. Cowan slides the puck ahead through center to the line. Zach Smith leaves it there for MacArthur. Neal comes in and low. Does he take an absolute run at Belov?
They had words earlier in the game.
Well, you think maybe also the fact that his goaltender got sprayed and his goaltender's been hit 3 times kind of gets Chris Neal's dander up. You can debate whether you think there should have been penalties or not, but he thinks they were, so that's what his reaction's going to be. Minute 12 to go in regulation time. Spezza to the line and in. It's a shot away. It's wide. Leonard way out of the net, but not to the bench as Carlson holds it in. Final minute of play. Leonard goes to the bench. Puck is cleared around the boards. Carlson holds it in. McCulloch turns and fires. Big bounce off the board. Spezza tries to wheel it back in front. Carlson. McCulloch. McCulloch back to Carlson. His shot. That's knocked down. Gets it across. Here's Wierkosh. through the crowd, just missed low. Puck comes around the boards, net is empty. RNH empty net, finds it, hits it, and Carlson breaks his stick in disgust as the Oilers get their third of the game, a 3-1 lead with 34 seconds to go.
Well, I think the Senators know exactly where the Edmonton Oilers are. Really thrilled and gambling. This shot, I can't even believe that shot by Wirkosh didn't get through, but it did get through. And it created this opportunity to end the game and seal it for Nugent Hopkins. That shot by Wirkosh never gets through. There are too many bodies and sticks around the front of the net. But as it were, the hard-working Edmonton Oilers played a strong third period. They really gave themselves a lot of puck support, and they protected a lead, something they have not done very often to this point in the season.
So Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with 2 goals and an assist in this game, a part of 100% of the Oilers offense as they appear poised to win just their second game of the season, coming into this game 1-6-1. And they face off now with 11 seconds remaining in regulation time. The Oilers will head off to Montreal and play in Montreal on Tuesday, then back home Thursday for a game against Washington, then back on the road again Saturday. They head down to Phoenix. For Ottawa, they are off until a Wednesday date in Detroit when they will meet up with their old captain Daniel Alfredsson, and first game between the Senators and the Wings since the departure of Alfredsson. And that will do it. The Edmonton Oilers end their losing streak. The 5-game losing streak is over with just their second victory of the season. And Ottawa drops to 3-3-2 on the season with their 3-1 defeat this afternoon.
Well, you might have expected a young Oiler team to come in and not really play well. They did. And once they got their goaltender straight, now there he is, Devan Dubnyk. He became unbeatable. He gained confidence, and that may have been the most important part of the Edmonton Oilers game this afternoon.